The Code of Ethics for North Carolina Educators. Hi, my name is Susan Camden, and I want to take just a few minutes to talk to you about the North Carolina Code of Ethics for Educators. The Code of Ethics has several parts. The first part is the commitment to students. An educator should protect students from conditions within the educator's control. They should maintain appropriate relationships with students in all settings, not just at school, but out in the community also. Educators should evaluate and assign grades based on the student performance only. The educator should discipline students justly and fair and should not deliberately embarrass them. They should also hold in confidence information learned in any professional practices, except for professional reasons in compliance with regulations or statutes. They should have refused to accept any gifts from students or parents that is in favor or addition to any compensation that might influence any professional decisions. The next section is commitment to the school and the school system. The educator should utilize available resources to provide classroom climates conducive to learning. They should acknowledge diverse views of students, their parents, and their colleagues. When they sign a contract, it should be done in good faith, and they do not abandon any professional duties. An educator should participate in professional decisions, and they should also support their colleagues in the decision-making process. The educator, when they act in an administrative capacity, they should act fairly and consistently. They should evaluate the work of other educators and use appropriate procedures. They should also protect the right of others in any educational setting. And when an educator in administrative capacity recommends someone for employment, promotion, or transfer, they should do it to that person's qualifications. The next section is commitment to profession. The educator should provide accurate credentials regarding their license or employment. They should not lie on their applications. They should not say they have things on their credentials that they don't. They should take action to remedy any observed violations of the Code of Ethics. If they have observed someone doing something wrong with the Code of Ethics, they need to report it. They should also seek any professional development training that they need to better themselves for their students and for the school. An educator should look at the state board policies and the North Carolina general statute that pertains to the Code of Ethics. Professional educators shall adhere to all the standards. Any intentional act or omission that violates the following standards is prohibited. The educator shall practice the professional standards of federal, state, and local governing bodies. With their personal conduct, an educator shall serve as a positive role model for the students, the parents, and in the community. Honesty is a big part of the Code of Ethics. An educator should not engage in any conduct that is dishonest, fraudulent, indecent, and they should not misrepresent any performance of their professional duties, which could include the statement of professional qualities. Again, an educator should have applications, college credentials, evaluation of students, and any information given to law enforcement agencies should be true. They should have proper conduct. They should not solicit current students or parents to purchase equipment or supplies in any private capacity. They shall not tutor their own students for payment unless it is approved by the local school board. And they should treat all of their students with respect. An educator shall not commit any abusive act toward any of their students, parents, or community members. They should also keep in confidence personality or personal identifiable credentials regarding students and their families, unless they have to disclose it to law enforcement agencies. The educators should protect the rights of others. They shall not willfully violate the constitutional rights of any student, parent, or colleague. The educator should not be under the influence or possess on school property any controlled substance or alcohol. And furthermore, they should not furnish any alcohol or controlled substances to students. They should be in compliance with all laws and statutes and not commit any felonies. They shall not misuse any funds or property. If they take money from students for any field trips or anything, they need to be receipted and properly turned into the office. The educator should not perform any act as an employee in a position of which licensure is required during any period that the educator's licensure has been suspended or taken away. That means you should not pretend that you have your license in education and go about teaching without anyone knowing it. And the last part is they should not conduct any ethical violations, and they should not get in the way of any investigations of any kind. I know this is very quick and very brief. If you would like more information about the Code of Ethics, you can go to the North Carolina Department of Education, put in the North Carolina Code of Ethics, and it will give you more information in detail about the Code of Ethics. Thank you.